Check this out. Black guys drive a car like this. Ding ding. Ding 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 ding. Yeah, but white guys, see, they drive a car like this.
It's true. It's true.
But yeah, you got Martin Luther King, Jesus, and Donald Trump.
Why you got Donald Trump? You know what?
Y'all ask certain questions. Y'all know what's gonna happen.
Right.
Behind it, if a person answer it wrong or answer.
Perhaps they'd read his tweets. Von's capture would be confirmed by a tweet from his sister from his own Twitter account.
Just having time to what you call it. But yeah, like I'm gonna say like this here. Like,
Oh, dirty! I got you, bro. Hood car wash. Let's go. Clean, clean, drop. What's happening?
Printing up these t-shirts, okay? Because Pac's gonna get smoked on. Now, the first 48 has begun, man. Chirac Grim Reaper, Little Reese.
With you. Okay. Can you imagine when Jay-Z and Beyonce support me in 24? Yeah. There'd be no way to lose. In 2024. Be no way to lose.
So you decided to exploit someone's culture. Congratulations, you've just purchased the best-selling course in our entire library. Aren't you smart? Human exploitation has been a great stream of income in America, well, since a little thing called slavery.
No, Master Colonel. You out here telling jokes, Tobias?
Master Colonel, please. I know you mad, but don't tell you out on Poe Tobias.
Jump to the 20th century, and it's being streamlined with enough bandwidth and synergy to embiggen profit. See, I use pointless words like that to make people who pay for instructional videos feel smart. Except you're actually smart. Also, I've heard that Gen Z really likes it for some reason when someone holds a microphone the entire time during the video. So I don't have one microphone, I have 3, which is way too many microphones, so I'm going to be putting some down. But anyway, that's where I come in. By the end of this course, you'll be able to exploit any community to enrich yourself, all while leaving a little less respect for the community and people you exploit. Before we get started, guess I should introduce myself. Hi, I'm John Lewis. You might remember me from such instructional videos as Bootlicking for Dummies, How to Get Out of Any Ticket. So, first you need to decide what community you want to exploit. Who are we kidding? It's black people. It's always black people. America was basically built on it. Remember the whole slavery thing a few seconds ago? Then after the Emancipation Proclamation, America was like, well, shit, these crops not gonna pick themselves. So police would just pull any reason out of their ass to arrest a black man. Then they aren't slaves, they're like paying off a debt or indentured servants, whatever they told themselves to be able to sleep at night.
This is car 15. I'm gonna need backup. I've got a stolen vehicle here.
But this is my car.
Suspect's getting belligerent.
What?
Officer down.
That, along with minstrel shows of the early 1900s to entertain white audiences. But the average person doesn't have the resources to exploit people for labor, with union busting, private prisons, and housing discrimination. This course is more for those who don't mind making black people look like monsters and take away any humanity they have. Part 1. The Fake OG. If you're looking to exploit culture, it helps a lot if you're already semi-famous. Well, famous is an overstatement. Maybe a washed-up 90s rapper who is the second fiddle in a two-man rap group like Noriega, or Nor, as you know by now. Nor, he jumped on the podcast wave early with his show Drink Champs. Now, I hope you aren't naive and think only outsiders can exploit black culture. Sure, the NORE is half Rican and half black, but as he said in interviews, his Hispanic side never really accepted him, and by the end of this video, you'll be like, yeah, I can really understand. Remember not so long ago, Kanye West was on one of his many racist tours of spreading nonsense and burning bridges, but not the one you're thinking of, probably the one like 2 more before that, because depending on whenever you see this. Well, Kanye's team reached out to multiple black outlets shortly after his interview with known conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. Some said, hell no. A couple actually interviewed him, then decided, well, this shit is way too racist and ignorant even for the internet, and scrapped the interview. But if you search long enough, you'll find a fool greedy enough to do anything if money's involved. And that fool was Nor. As you can imagine with the Kanye West interview, it was full of racist conspiracies and unhinged rants that made him come off looking even worse. Now personally, I don't have any sympathy for Kanye. He's disrespected black ancestors and the work they did. But you look into exploited culture, and that's why Noor is a great example. He has a podcast whose main audience is hip-hop fans, and a large percentage is black. What better time to get a man who's going through a messy divorce and mental health issues, pump him full of liquor, and allow him to spew neo-Nazi talking points? That interview did 1 million views in less than 24 hours. After a couple of days, it was taken down, but not before every blog and news site covered it.
You know, black people and Jewish people is not correct. The sentiments that he said about George Floyd is not correct, and I do not stand with him when it comes to that.
Gotcha.
But, you know.
And a few more million views, and thus spreading the Drink Champs brand. Oh, and for extra points, not long after Noor, who I must remind you is the host of the show, invited known far-right racist Tucker Carlson on the show because he knows the internet loves to hate watch. Tucker, the man has made it clear he doesn't even view black people as deserving of respect. But hey, why not exploit your audience you built off of black culture? It's no wonder millennials and Gen Z look at Gen X rappers like a bunch of goofy, messy bitches. But you in the money business, not the ethics business. Let's say you don't drink liquor and on some Ned Flanders shit. Fine. Because chances are you're a white guy obsessed with black culture anyway. Maybe the Adam 22 black exploitation plan works for you. This guy pivoted from making online content about BMX bikes and pogo sticks or some shit. And then somehow he stumbled across what would make his name well known in specific parts of the internet. Something I call being in black people's business.
Who you got problems with in Vegas though?
I ain't got problems with nobody.
So it was random?
He's a rapper.
Right.
But more importantly, gang shit. You see, people who only observe black culture from the outside, they love gang shit. The signs they throw up with twisted fingers, the rags, what set each hat represents, the shoestrings, the tattoos.
Now this hat is a no-go. Don't put that on unless you really from Hoover. This is a Hoover hat, predominantly 100%. You will get pressed 10 out of 10.
They don't care about the funerals, the families destroyed, the prison sentences, the civilians who lost their life. They're here to exploit it all. Chances are Adam has some artist you never heard of, asked him about his street shit, let him diss another set or person, drop that interview, and he's on his way. See, the thing about street shit is, it don't stop. There's no rules to it now. And the situation that may have been between two crews of 10 young dudes combined has fuel thrown on it. Those young men's social media blows up with spectators sending lyrics and posts back and forth from opposing sides, and more times than not, it ends with violence. Because these aren't really rappers that bang, they street dudes that maybe sometimes rap on the side. They early 20s ready to crash out over anything, and you get to be right there making money off of all of that. And eventually, you can hire a couple black guys to conduct most of the interviews so the optics look a little bit better. And then if anyone asks you about it, just hit them with the, well, I don't force anyone to come on the show. But even then, exploiting people in your presence might be too difficult, in which case you might want to try the DJ academic strategy.
Disrespectful enough. However, he then continued to antagonize the sleeping Grim Reaper, and to keep it real, man, Lil Reese been cooling lately. Beat a case.
Close to almost a decade ago, a Teletubby wished upon a star that he too could be made a real boy. Thus, the story of DJ Academics began. Legend has it he wandered out of the woods into a woman who always wanted a son's basement and began his career of exploiting black men in the south side of Chicago. He would document the turf wars, shooting deaths. It didn't matter. He took the motto, if it bleeds, it leads, and made an entire brand out of it. Like Adam 22, he gassed beats that could have been ended or forgotten and put a spotlight on them of sometimes millions of views. While he would eventually retire from this style of video and move on to celebrity gossip and harassing black women, specifically victims of domestic violence like Meg Thee Stallion for his audience of teenagers, incels, and manosphere chat fans. The blueprint of exploiting black people from the safety and comfort of home had been laid out and shown to be very profitable. Complex Media even gave DJ Academics a job out of it.
I've never lost. I ain't never lost one of them. So, Meg, Get your fucking bars up. All that fucking twerking. We don't give a fuck about you twerking no more, nigga. Put out a hot song.
And that's where guys like you who don't see color unless it's green come in. Take Trap Lord Raw, some white kid living across the pond making documentaries with names like King Von, rap's first serial killer.
After the death of Lil James is particularly interesting because there's always been a lot of speculation on exactly how many people Von had killed.
Despite the fact that actual serial killers target random victims or one type of person, King Von was a lot of things. A shooter for sure, but one thing he was not is a serial killer. He only targeted people in that life. Now the whole genre of true crime is exploitative already. When you reduce people who's been through horrific situations to just characters in your media to be consumed, but it's even nastier when the person doing it is some nerdy white guy living thousands of miles away. He talks about these black men the way someone shooting a nature documentary would, like they subhuman. He's not from the culture, he's not from the country, and he doesn't understand the nuance of it. Now, I'm not copping pleas for any of the people involved in that life, but one thing I can guarantee you is people in the game don't go around killing random citizens or squares as they call it. For one thing, tax-paying citizens can go to the police, and another, street dudes ain't really focused on that. The dope boys, the jack boys, the shooters, they realize once they enter into that life, they play by a different set of rules. Now, we all know because of strays, people not involved in the life do get hit sometimes, but that's not the same as a serial killer choosing the victim with a 9-to-5, stalking and haunting them. One thing you learn is people's obsession with black street life is similar to his obsession with general black life. The hair, the fashion, dialect, even down to interactions is to be observed and imitated by outsiders. See, guys like Adam 22 and Trap Lord, they don't enjoy reporting on crime. They only interested if it's black adjacent. Notice there's no white biker gangs or the many drug-fueled crimes going on in rural white America.
Who you coughing at? Who you coughing at? I know you ain't coughing at me.
Okay, so the internet interviews and documentaries aren't your style either. If you can get a few friends together to start an online streaming service whose motto is, look how ignorant black people are, and we make black women fight for your entertainment, yeah, this is called the Zeus Model. If you've never heard of the streaming service Zeus, then you're clearly blessed. But it's made by a few black people. One of the major investors and most famous is King Bach. I'm not exactly sure what he does or how he's involved, but he's one of the pioneers of exploiting black culture. Dating back to Vine, where he would make skits about how ignorant black men are, all they do is steal and they're criminals. Him and his cabal of Uncle Toms have an entire network with shows like Baddies East, Baddies West, Baddies North by Northwest, where a house full of black women live together and beat the shit out of each other for camera time and hopefully fame outside of the show. Or they have a show called Jocelyn's Cabaret, where a house full of black women beat the shit out of each other for camera time and hopefully fame outside of the show. They sprinkle in a couple Latinas and white girls and also to mix it up. But the way to exploitation is to reinforce stereotypes, mainly the angry black woman trope, pump them up with liquor, make it clear that it's a limited amount of whatever the hell the end goal of the show is, pit light skin against dark skin, even film the auditions. And soon you'll have hours of hair pulling, fighting, cursing, and outrage marketing to laugh to the bank. Best part, if someone asks you about it, well, you didn't make them fight. You just asked who wanted to be on the show.
Oh, this no beef. All right, so let me go. No, this shit is There we go right there.
Oh, I hear you. Making black women or black men look like beasts isn't enough. You want to make them look bad as a unit. Well, I've got you covered. Crazy in love with Blueface and Kristen Rock. Everything I know about this couple is against my will. Blueface is like a TikTok rapper, I guess. And Kristen makes videos on Instagram or something. But by some demonic pairing, they found each other and ended up with the show. And if you watch this far, you can imagine where this is going. Yep. And they beat the shit out of each other, gaslight each other, mentally abuse. And at some point, they had a child. And if you put this Altogether, you'll be documenting all our audiences cheer and laugh. And in between seasons, if you've done your job well, they'll be keeping up the chaos on Twitter and every other social media app, building hype for the next season. Not only do you get to exploit the black community, you can now reinforce stereotypes of black men being violent, abusive lovers, and the women being disrespectful, angry, and violent, all while you build this network. Hey, didn't I say this was the best instructional video you can buy? Well, I got more for you. Say you really got a kink for making black men and women looking like criminals and ignorant as possible. That's where the Tubi plan comes in.
Nail beds, bitch! Nail beds! What the fuck is you doing?
What? I think you've been shot.
Man, ain't nobody shoot that girl.
Yes, this nigga Corey shot me.
She a bad bitch looking for a nigga.
While you could always make a reality show or interview rappers, make documentaries about black people in the worst light possible, why not say fuck it and go straight to the fiction route? Get a couple of iPhone 7s, a lav mic taped to a broom for audio, write the laziest plot you can think of, and because you already paid for this course, I'll give you the blueprint. So check it. Every black male in the movie needs to be a drug dealer or scammer and abusive to his girlfriend. Every black woman in the movie needs to be some type of sex worker. She cheats on her man and helps set up other men to get robbed. You need multiple sex scenes in the movie. The first one has to be in the first 4 minutes of the movie starting. To save money, just hire local rappers, strippers, and bottle girls to star in it. Rinse and repeat this 10 times a year. Switch the names of the actors in the movie. Recycle the plot. Oh, and for some reason, 90% of them have to take place in Detroit. Because you aren't trying to tell black stories. You're looking to exploit. You see, Donald Glover, he made it. He took his talents and made a show about black Atlanta. Issa Rae got a shot. She made a show about black LA. Them Chicago brothers, they made it. And they created a comedy about Chicago called Southside. But you aiming for the lowest hanging fruit, and that's Tubi. Audience, they don't care about plot. They want to see bitches shaking ass, getting beat, and niggas shooting each other in the street. You know the types who get their news from hip-hop blogs or the Shade Room? Speaking of hip-hop blogs, if shooting content is too much work, you can just start a hip-hop blog. Did a rapper get arrested? Post about it. Did Cardi B get cheated on? Post about it. Did Beyonce reveal she actually made a deal with the robot devil? Post about it. None of that actually happened? So what? Post about it. Hip-hop blogs aren't in the news business. They're in the headline business. Best part is, you don't even have to write articles. The morons who get their news on pages with names like Glock Topics, they're not reading past the headline anyway. They're going to share it on Facebook and Instagram no matter what.
In school, when I was a kid, and so I know the true history of both the Republican and Democratic Party. I know that they really didn't switch during the Nixon Southern strategy, that one became more clever than the other in dealing with black people.
So what I'm seeing is people hold on to something that he might say that was close to being true, half a true, or whatever, and then they just focus on that. So again, it might be his delivery and some of the words. He might start burning out stats about illiteracy rates and shit like that.
Often heard about Charleston is that he says some real and significant shit in between the awful shit, and I do not care. I don't care that he says real shit sometimes. The awful shit means stop listening to this nigga. Here's my thing with Charleston White. He is hood Candace Owens. I said this in the Black Conservatives video earlier this year. If you let the aesthetics and like the antics pass you by and just break down the reality of what he's saying, the things that he says the most, is classic anti-black, pro-police, bootstrap rhetoric stuff wrapped in angry uncle at the barbershop type packaging, so you're more apt to give him credit and not consider the totality of what he's saying.
Finally, if all else fails or none of these fit you, there's always the final option. Now, I must warn you, this is one you can never come back from in the black community. Some things are unforgivable. I like to call this the bitch-ass nigga option. And bitch-ass nigga is gender fluid or gender neutral, whatever you call it, meaning the man or woman can be. Right now, the most famous one is Charleston White. Again, everything I know about this man is against my will because of Twitter and also my OGs like FD Signifier and Jared Bell, who've spoken on him briefly in their YouTube channels. Charleston is basically Kevin Samuels for I don't know who his audience is actually. He cosplays as a hood nigga, but also admits he will snitch on anyone. He brags about beating women and sexual assault, working with Republicans, and loving the police. Charleston seems to have wandered in like the cat in the hat. His only purpose is to be a caricature of hood niggas and spew ignorance. He's taunted known steppers. He said he hopes to get them locked up. Sided with police after shooting the black man and straight up said that he hates black people multiple times. Yet, washed up athletes like Cam Newton give him an interview to spread his hate. Yes, even if you were in direct opposition of the very community you exploit, people looking for clout online and YouTube views will even invite you on the show. You can go on tour. As far as I know, he's not a comedian. What could possess someone to attend the Charleston White show? I can't possibly think of an answer. Now, we ended up having to edit this video before releasing it to you because of some lawsuits. So I'd never tell you to do what DJ Envy and Caesar Pena did by targeting black people in a Ponzi scheme of house flipping and using drug and hip-hop aesthetics, along with DJ Envy's status as a famous celebrity radio host to influence people to work with you and your partner.
We've helped so many people, not just regular people, but celebrities, athletes, executives.
That's DJ Envy on his syndicated iHeart radio show, The Breakfast Club. He's often promoted the real estate venture of his pal, Caesar Pena.
You might know him on Instagram as Flippin' NJ.
But it's more than just a passing endorsement.
You could partner with us on some deals, make some money with us.
Envy and Caesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the Jacob Javits Convention Center, pitching opportunities to flip properties, often in distressed areas of New Jersey.
How long you been in the game, M500?
I've been in the game since I was 18. At 18 years old, I got my real estate license.
How old are you now?
32.
Nigga, you look like you 22. Look like he only got like 4 years up under
I'm
his
your
belt.
brother. Shit, we one of us.
He don't point. He don't point.
And just for the record, we on his private jet.
We not gonna say it's his. He renting the motherfucking.
Oh, is it?
No. We charter him. You know. But that's
but I know he said all he do is his private jet, so I figured it was his shit. I didn't know, when you don't get.
Also, selling expensive tickets to real estate workshops at La Quinta Hotels. Just so you know, if someone tells you they have a great way for you to make money, and it involves going to a hotel meeting or paying for a networking course with hundreds of others, not only is it a scam, but they think you a mark-ass nigga. Also, I no longer would tell you to offer shady crypto and credit repair services while touring urban podcasts like $1 Million Worth of Game and Joe Budden, which have a large black audience and sell dreams of getting rich quick, because I suspect SEC and possible IRS charges for all involved soon. Once again, I'm John Lewis. If you'd like to support the channel and get early access, join my Patreon.